How do you think God felt when Jesus was crucified? God was heartbroken. If your child was up there nailed to the cross, wouldn't you be heartbroken? How did Jesus make miracles? How did Jesus move the world? How can you move the world? How can you become the person who can go beyond all the difficulty in your life to accomplish the standard of a true man? That's what it takes to make miracles. So if you want to accomplish a miracle, you have to do the heavenly standard. And the heavenly standard is rigid. It doesn't move because you want it to. You have to become it. I had a religious experience where I was able to really make miracles. And I wanted to tell you about it today so that maybe you can be inspired. If you want to be the one who makes miracles, then you have to be able to pay the price to make these miracles, because nothing is free. But the cost of these miracles is not monetary. It's a cost of the heart. It's a cost of guts, never willing to compromise, to achieve a standard that is far beyond what you know you can do, but is directed in a way that will certainly love other people, care for other people, and do good things for other people. If God was really speaking to me now, He's probably going to make me cry, because that's how it usually happens. When I cry, it's because God makes me feel emotional about this topic. And so that's why I'm crying now, because God is really happy that I'm finally being able to explain this to you. So, in making a miracle, not only do you have to pay these aggressive indemnity conditions, but you have to understand the depth and degree of these aggressive indemnity conditions and what it is actually going to take to achieve the standard that you're seeking to accomplish. If you think that just one little prayer or just one little, bow or anything small is going to be enough, think again. Actually, we heard that Daimonim bowed 10,000 times. And she also spent time melting ice in prayer. It's really necessary to accomplish a high standard if you want to do something great. For me, I bowed 105 times a day, trying to liberate and bless my ancestors. And I also had to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning every morning. And I had to also pray on the mountain every day for 80 days. That means you get up in a really cold place. You go up a really hard hill, not just an easy hill, no, it's a steep one. And you really get to the top and you really say a good heartfelt prayer at the top. And you get an inspiration and you write it down. And God gives you a direction of what you can do to accomplish the next standard. And because you accomplish the next standard, then you're able to go to the next level. And even though I say something good, then noise has to happen. That's how this works. We hope that you can still hear it even with a crazy noise in the background. Anyway, whenever I say something, someone always tries to stop me because I usually say something good. I hope that didn't interrupt you too much. The key point, what I'm really moving here is, these miracles are completely within anybody's grasp. Nobody is better than Jesus. Although we hear that Jesus walked on water, although we hear Jesus actually made 5 loaves feed 5,000 people, let me tell you how it really worked. Actually, the apparition that people saw was in fact Jesus, but it was a spiritual vision. And because their spiritual vision was able to be so real, and they all received it at the same moment, they thought it was the exact reality. In fact, if you are going to be able to be shown where to go to put your boat to catch all the fish that you need to catch that day, isn't that a miracle? And to get that inspiration, isn't that a miracle? But we don't break physical law when we make a miracle. Furthermore, when everybody in the crowd was so moved that somebody in a very selfish area would start sharing their fish and bread, they also likewise started sharing their fish and bread. And then because of the natural law of people can share even when they don't want to, then there was actually more fish and bread left over than they started with. However, guess what? No one ever went poof and created this fish and bread. It was all natural law. In the same way, you don't change the natural law, because God is not going to change the natural law just for you. So don't think that you can jump off a cliff and God will catch you. It doesn't work. Actually, the only miracles that God makes are the kinds that are going to happen anyway. Like, for instance, the 3-day eclipse that happened at the time of Jesus' crucifixion was in fact an eclipse of the sun that happened to be exactly at that moment. It was not because Jesus planned to be at that time, killed at that time, and crucified at that time, but God knew that he could actually inspire people to put Jesus at that spot to make a point, so later on he could rework his providence at another time, at another place. A miracle. So how about your life? You want to make a miracle? This is how you do it. You become the person who is a true man. You become a person who goes beyond yourself, loving other people, caring for other people, and doing good things for other people. Doing tasks that nobody would do because they're too difficult. And when you do the too difficult task, it's at that moment, because it's too difficult, that God steps right in, because he doesn't want to have his will compromised because of someone else's deficiency. So he'll step right in out of his true love for you. And that's the way the miracle happens.